You're listening to a podcast from the Finnish Football Show.
Welcome to the Finnish Football Show. We're just two of us this week for a variety of reasons we won't go into. I'm Rich, escaped to Suomi, and I'm joined by Keke. Hello, Keke.
Terve. Moi, moi, yeah. Finnish Football Show Lite this week. There's only the two of us, but no, good to see you, mate.
Yeah, you too. It's the English branch who are in charge today. We'll blame the time zones or something. But I think this week we'll have a little chat about the Huuhkajat fixtures from the end of March that you attended as a member of the representative press, the upcoming Helmarit fixtures, the World Cup qualifiers, and we'll talk about the Veikkausliiga season that started Saturday just gone. 6 games, 6 more games to come. So we'll have a little chat and we'll see how we go. But Keke, you spent 5 nights in lovely Murcia in Spain, watching Finland. How was it?
I did. Not been to Murcia before. It was interesting city. Not too many holiday makers, but a few of us Finland fans descended on the city. I've got my Spanish style kit on, and I'm drinking me. Other beers are available. Drinking me my San Miguel. I'm fully Spanished up now, but no, it was a good trip. A few of us travelled, as I said. Nice city, bit of tapas, and then the football. I mean, we made our way out to the sort of out of town stadium, the Real Murcia stadium, and I couldn't believe it. Apparently, this Real Murcia are like a 3rd division outfit, but the ground was absolutely fantastic. It was really, really nice. We headed in there, and made my way out to the press box, as you do. But at that point, it was just me and the UEFA delegate. And I didn't really fancy chatting to him too much. So, I watched most of the game from the fan section. And first game, I mean, we started really brightly. Teemu Pukki scored after, I think it was 10 or 11 minutes. First thoughts, really, it was because the stadium was so, I mean, there was probably a couple of hundred in there, but in a sort of, 18, 20, 25, whatever thousand seater stadium it was, you really could sort of hear a pin drop. And the best thing about it was really sort of hearing the team talk to each other. I mean, Jesse Joronen started in goal for that first game, and you could really hear him sort of almost orchestrating from the back, telling his defenders what he wanted, giving the old man on shouts and all that. So it really was an interesting perspective as a fan to watch the game in that sort of situation. But it was we started brightly, as I said, and rubbing the old hands together, thinking this will be nice to give Iceland a slap, and then they managed to pull one back, and the game ended 1-1. But there were some bright spots. I mean, Uli Tolva played his first game. I think you said, Rich, he's not even got a Veikkausliiga minute to his name yet.
Well, he made his debut on Saturday, just gone. Yeah. So he's played for the national team before playing in the top flight. He did pretty well, I think, to be honest. Left,
he did.
In defence, I think he was a little bit rash to start with. I think getting used to the pace of international football, although he spent most of last season with Rops, and it was an interesting side because I think as Palolita mentioned afterwards, with the debuts, this took them over 1,000 players now have played across the Huuhkajat and the Helmarit since they've existed. So you had Uli Tolva made his debut starting, as did Miro Tenho, and then Soisalo came off the bench in the second half. But it was an interesting team because you had obviously some of the first choice players. You had O'Shaughnessy, Lord, Teemu Pukki, of course, Shula as captain, and Pukki's goal was really well taken. I think when I shared a video clip of the goal, and it's a little dummy and a nice one-on-one, but really clinical finish. And I think a lot of the Norwich fans who followed my Twitter account looked at it and kind of went, "See, that's what happens when you play to your centre forward strengths."
Yeah.
And I think there's a bit of noise around what Daimler's future will be come the summer if Norwich do go down. But it was an interesting side, and I think in the second half, Rivo made a few changes. But yeah, it's a shame after a good start, Iceland kind of got back into it again, and it really did have that feeling of a friendly away from home for both teams. It was a bit of a shame, but
yeah, I
you know,
mean, it quite obviously was a friendly game. It quite obviously was I mean, there were one or two tackles sort of flew in, but yeah, it was quite obviously one of them ones where you know that neither side, the players don't want to come out with an injury. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it wasn't played at a snail's pace or anything, but yeah, it was. You know, maybe the intensity wasn't quite there that we would see in a competitive fixture.
yeah, I think we're kind of in that boat at the moment, aren't we? Where when you come in towards the end of March, and some of the players in the squad will have played a full season in one of the larger leagues, and then a lot of the players won't have played a competitive game because we're at the start of the season in the Nordic League. So it's an odd time. I mean, I know exactly why it's in the calendar, but to get a mix of players in such different shapes and conditions and backgrounds, it's hey ho. It was yeah, it was a good game, and it was a great goal by Pukin. Nice to see the young players, but yeah, a few days later we had Slovakia, so that was a different experience.
It was. I mean, we went into that hopeful, really. Yeah, I mean, the side Radetzky came in. Yeah, you know, we was sort of chatting amongst ourselves. Would Ericsson get a nod? You know, having sort of come all that way, been part of the squad. This sort of game, you know, a practice game for want of a better word. So would Ericsson get a nod? But yeah, Radetzky started again. You could hear him at the back, you know, telling the defenders what to do and doing their bit. And yeah, it was nice to see Robert Ivanov get a start. Like big fan of him. So so it was good to see him play. But yeah, we ultimately the Slovaks come out on top, and we went down 2-0. I mean, the first goal, poor old Robert Ivanov, it sort of took a bit of a deflection off of his shoulder, I think it was, and that sort of took it past Radetzky. And then if you watch the second goal, yeah, striker sort of has a little snapshot, and I think Luke thinks it might be going wide, but it just sort of sneaks in the post with him sort of rooted to the spot watching it. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. The result's the result. But you know, the boys had a bit of a run out. Again, there was again, it was a mixed up side, really. You had a few more regulars, and then you some other players as well. Marcus Force started. But yeah, it was nice to be there, mate, and fair play to the players. Even in defeat, they come over and they give us all a good reception and a clap and let us know that they appreciated that we'd travelled out there. So it was yeah, it was a good experience, all that.
Yeah, and again, sort of looking at it as preparation for the Nations League fixtures, we've got 4 games in 10 or 11 days in at the start of June, and it's really going to be packing them in then. And I think this is kind of where these players who are not first 11 players but are going to be getting those minutes. I mean, Force, I mean, he's done all right at Hull. I think he only scored the once though, hasn't he, so far?
Yeah.
You know, players like him, hopefully in the next 6 weeks or so, as the English season and most of Europe starts to wind down. Hopefully some of these players getting a little bit better nick. MLS has just started as well. And players hoping that come the start of June they're not exhausted. You know, vital players like Glenn Kamara, Tamer Pukki, players like that. Poyampalo, of course, has done really well on loan in Turkey, and he's got a season left in Leverkusen. But yeah, it's going to be a busy time. You know, when we come up to those fixtures, and it'll be interesting to see again how Rive uses the squad. And I guess these are the games where he kind of looks at those fringe players. You know, Santeri Hostika started against Slovakia. Lingman, I think that was his debut, wasn't it, last week?
Yep.
You know, so it's nice to see these players getting involved at least and getting in that squad, because, you know, we've had a lot of change in the last 8 or 9 months since the Euros. You know, a lot of those big names have gone. So there's some big shoes to fill. And, you know, if we can get people stepping up, Nisila looked good again when he came on. And yeah, fingers crossed, come June, I'm sure we'll be back and talking all about it.
That's it. I mean, that second game, Rasmus Schuller came on in the second half, and looked decent again. You know, he's obviously they've just kicked off in Sweden, as you said, but he had a cracking game last night for Djurgården. But he looked the part. I mean, Jari Uronen, he did well. He did well on in the defence there. By the same token, I think Nikolai Auho struggled a little bit. He was brilliant going forward, but the Slovak guy seemed to have his number when Nikolai was trying to defend against him. But yeah, you know, it's again, it's these experimental games. These Rive's put these starting 11s together. Yeah, I'm sure we'll see some more pictures. These players, which, you know, pleased to have involved, and hopefully they will be invited on missions.
So one other thing we're going to talk about in the with our international hats on is the Helmarit return this week. With they resume their World Cup qualifiers, and we've got a couple of big ones coming up. We've already talked about last time some of the ticket offers, but in terms of the fixtures coming up, you're a man in the know about these things. Who have the ladies got?
Yeah, mate, they've got Slovakia and Georgia coming up. Little double header. The girls are away in Slovakia at the moment, preparing for that game. I mean, they'll be confident. They won both those reverse fixtures, so they kicked off the campaign with a 2-1 win over Slovakia. So even though it's away this time, I'm sure they'll be full of confidence going into that game. And then we had the 3-0 win away in Georgia. You remember that one? We spent a little bit of time.
Terrible, weren't they?
Well.
I'm jinxing it now, aren't I? But yeah. I mean, Georgia were poor and Finland were excellent, and I think if they'd been a bit more clinical, would have thumped them. And Georgia, from memory, have been on the end of a couple of poundings. Was it 11-0? I think they lost to Ireland.
Yeah, 11-0. Yeah.
Yeah. So be an interesting one. I think the Palolita, to their credit, have been really building up, trying to get people into that game next week, just to really kind of get that attendance going, get that buzz going. Because I think was it 1 or 2 more games then before the Euros start?
That's it. Yeah, it's just these 2 games, and then we kick off the Euros. So it's one of those ones. We spoke about it before, but you got these World Cup qualifying games, and then the Euros, and then the rest of the campaign. But yeah, exciting times. I mean, squad wise, it's a pretty settled squad as you would expect. I mean, Katarina Talaslahti has come in as the 3rd goalie, so that'll be a massive, decent experience for her.
It's good to see her getting involved, because I mean, she's been big. I mean, she was at Bayern Munich, she was at Lyon, so she's got a Champions League winners medal, albeit from the bench when they won it last year or the year before. I mean, she's still really young, and she's been around Europe a lot. I mean, she's playing regularly now in France, but again, Finland producing quality goalkeepers of both genders.
There you go. And as you say, Rich, like the league format similar as the men. You got some of the girls are coming into starting their Nordic leagues, and others have played full seasons elsewhere in Europe, etc. So, I mean, the Damallsvenskan kicked off at the weekend, and we had Ellie Pikkuljamsa and Amanda Rantanen both scoring for their club, KIF Orrebo. And sorry about the Swedish pronunciation, I've probably crucified that. Just call them KIF from now on. But yeah, it's all the girls across the Damallsvenskan had really decent performances. So yeah, it's a exciting one. Should be looking forward to it. The game's on Friday, I believe. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a 19:30 kickoff our time, which makes it, what's that, 21:30 in Finland?
Yeah, it's late. Yeah. And then Georgia at home on Tuesday the 12th, and that's 4:15 our time. So 6:15, 18:15 Helsinki time. Is at the Bolt Arena.
Yeah, and, so if you can brave the snow, brave the springtime snow sprinkling, and get yourself down to the Bolt Arena. Should be a good one that against Georgia. Hopefully see a few goals.
Hopefully they'll have sorted out the stadium issues that we'll no doubt talk about at Huuhkajat's first game the Veikkausliiga at the weekend. But yeah, no, it's great. And I've just noticed as well, they've arranged a Finland be playing a friendly against Japan in Turku before the Euro. So that'll be because I mean Japan are one of they're the elite level women's teams, aren't they? I mean, I think did they win the World Cup or the Olympics maybe in the last 10 or 12 years? So top quality opposition there. And obviously when we'll be talking at length about the Euros starting in July, I mean we'll be going to the 3 group games in Milton Keynes. One of us will be boycotting the city of Milton Keynes completely, but Alamark. But yeah, and we'll be going into that at length. And yeah, it'd be great to see, because I think these 2 World Cup qualifiers are pretty crucial, because I think with Sweden kind of leading the group and Ireland having that advantage from the win in the autumn, it's definitely need to get back on track with those when you think that the final 2 games in the group are away to Ireland and at home to Sweden in September. So it's really crunch that they get hopefully 6 points on the board going into the summer.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, wish the girls well. We'll be tuning in on Friday to make sure that they make sure we see all the action, and yeah, we might be have a little few minutes of reporting back on that in our next show.
Yeah, we'll do. So I suppose this will be the if I was able to do it, and I'm sure producer Mark will be able to add some sort of halftime whistle in. It'd be nice. I see. Unfortunately, Mark Hayton with his vocabulary, his profanosaurus of Finnish football words is unavailable tonight. But what we will do is we will do a following, which I haven't done for a while, and just want to say hello and thank you and a follow to Charlotte Patterson, who is on Twitter at Kirkby Hazard, who somehow managed to listen to every single episode of the Finnish Football Show in, I think it was about 7 weeks.
Yes.
Which bear in mind, it's taken us 7 years to record. It's quite some effort, and I know she does a lot. She does things for Football Manager, and she has a lot of grasp on women's football and football around the world. So thank you, Charlotte, and your dedication has not gone unnoticed. It's yes, I was amazed. I mean, even I can't listen to them, and I'm on them.
No, thank you, Charlotte. That was brilliant. So yeah, if you're listening to this, anyone else, get out on Twitter and give Charlotte a follow, because she knows what she's talking about when it comes to football and also podcasts.
Tell you what, I think maybe we'll see if we can speak to her about. She has a lot of knowledge around Japanese and Asian football, so maybe we'll talk to her before the Japan game.
Preview
sorted, assuming she says yes. Anyway, so second half. We've had our oranges and our alcohol-free beer, as he says, holding his can of Bavaria from Sainsbury's. Nice. So the Veikkausliiga 2022 season kicked off on Saturday. We didn't really get around to doing a preview, thanks to these international break and other commitments. But God, it's an interesting start to the season, wasn't it?
It certainly was, mate. It certainly was. I mean, there's all us and everyone else in Finland's been eagerly looking forward to and anticipating the start of the Veikkausliiga season. But after just one game, someone who's involved in the game has had enough and packed his bags and cleared off. So, I mean, breaking news, Rich.
Well, yeah,
tell us.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So, Helsinki Niivko coach Bernardo Tavares, who was signed in the summer, he replaced friend of the show Joaquin Gomez as he went to Seinäjoki. He's come in. I think one of the main kind of trumpeted things about him was he did the same UEFA coaching badges as Nuno Espirito Santo, the Tottenham legend that nearly got him relegated. And after one league game, they lost to Seinäjoki at the weekend after taking the lead. He's resigned for family reasons, apparently, and that might come out in the wash. It'll be interesting to see what happens there, because he'd assembled a Portuguese-speaking coaching staff. Obviously, they have signed a high-profile Portuguese player too. These things often seem to go at the same time. So I'm not saying I know what the finish for House of Cards is, but yeah, we'll follow that with glee, because it's bad timing, and obviously you can't if your family don't settle or whatever the family reasons are, who knows. But it's not really what they wanted after a big upheaval in the winter. But that's what you get for losing at Asiko.
No, it's a shame. I mean, I've said many a times I was gutted to see Joaquim Gomez leave Helsinki FK, and I really hope that what they built there in his time would carry on. But yeah, this is another bit of a blow to them. I just hope that whoever's running the show there can get it sorted out quickly, and it doesn't harm the club too much. But yeah, like you say, Rich, will our multi-Europa League winning goalie hang about, or will that exit door see a few more people run through it? We'll wait and see. But I wish Hoi FK all the best.
Yeah, let's say be interesting to see where that goes. The speculation's already rife around who's going to take over. It may be a little bit early yet, but Hoiko kicked off the season with a win in the first game, the home to Honka. We've joked on social media in our WhatsApp group around Hoiko's drive to improve standards of fan experience and so forth. I think their new sort of catering guru is a Michelin star winning chef who I think took particular exception to the sausage cup that was served, albeit not at their stadium, but in the Olympia Stadium last year, and said something like "over my dead body." Now, I wonder if they'd have warmed his dead body last weekend, because pretty much everything that could have gone wrong did at the ground. The pipes froze, which meant they had to close most of the toilets. They also couldn't have running water in certain parts. The food, the catering, apparently the machines being installed with the wrong kind, so they couldn't use them, and huge queues to get in. And I mean, bear in mind, the stadium, I think, was less than half full for the game, and people were still queuing well after the kickoff to get in. So they've apologised and promised they'll do better. But yes.
Aki, if you're listening, what's going on, mate? Sort it out before we come over in the summertime, yeah?
Yeah.
I'd happily have a sausage cup. Do you know what I mean? It's better than nothing, isn't it?
We're not snobs. Albeit the last time I was there, I think I had a coffee that was served by Satan. It was the worst thing I've ever put in my mouth, and that's saying something. So. Anyway. And yeah, no, I mean, a couple of other interesting games as well. With Kups beat Inter at home. Asiko, as we said, came from behind to beat Helsinki DFK, and in the process got their coach rid. Haka started well. They beat Ilves 2-1 in a bit of a grudge match there. VPS on their return got a Desmond at home to AC Oulu. Lovely goal in that. I don't know if you saw it from Riku Selander.
Yeah, brilliant.
Nice effort.
Absolute rocket.
Yeah, and the other game, which Mariehamn drew 0-0 at home to Lahti, but that was memorable for two visiting Lahti fans getting ticketed and fined for urinating at the Russian embassy on Ireland. So
there you go.
Fair play. I mean, I think they said they'd do it again if they had the chance.
Good on them.
One thing we didn't mention, because it's happened after last episode, was Lahti have signed Albion Ademi from Djurgården on loan for the first part of the season. Anyway, it's a shame things didn't work out particularly well for him there. I think it was 2020 he scored 14 goals for Mariehamn, earning his move to Sweden. And I think there were some issues in struggling to settle over there, and maybe I think one person at one point, there was one quote saying that he was kind of playing for himself and not for the team, and I think he was trying to do it all a bit, that kind of Cristiano Ronaldo style stuff. So hopefully a move back to Lahti will get him his confidence, and he's done well. But it'd be interesting to see. I mean, we jest about Lahti being the most mediocre club in Finland, but
he'll certainly liven them up, won't he? You know what I mean? He's a skillful player. He's a baller, if you like. Do you know what I mean? He should liven them up a little bit. But yeah, opening day 0-0 FC Lahti. There you go.
Yeah, who had that one? But one thing I have mentioned on Twitter actually is a lot of people have asked about Lahti's away kit, which is a very nice sort of burgundy gold trim number.
Very nice.
It's now available in the club shop. I'm not on commission. I will probably be buying one myself. But it's available. It's £60 for a replica and €100 for the sponsored with all the patches and stuff.
You got to go for the sponsored one, though. It's an absolute belter. It's an absolute belter, that jersey. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't really talk about the kits this season, but I mean, like when you look at Ilves and Asiko have semi-custom Adidas kits as well in their colorways. It's it's nice. Bear in mind some of the generic dross that is the kits in Finland. It's nice to have a couple of nice ones.
Yeah.
Coming up, and say, assuming this goes out before Friday, we've got some interesting fixture changes.
There's a game on Thursday, isn't there?
Yeah. So in this second round of fixtures, we've got 6 matches. 4 of them are being played elsewhere than they should be because of various. I mean, it's mostly weather related, and the pitches aren't ready. And to be honest, it's still been snowing, isn't it? I mean, we can see from producer Mark's Instagram, it's very pleasant to look at, I'm sure, but yeah.
Not conducive to playing football.
No, so much for a summer league, eh? But you got
the old orange ball out.
Oh, well, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? But then I think, from experience of seeing a lot of the Stormont Cup games, they're still playing with a white ball.
Yeah.
So spot the ball. Yeah, should bring that back. But so Thursday you've got Honka hosting Hacker at the Bolt Arena, as mentioned. Lahti's game against VPS is being played in Vasa, because I think there's the Kisapuisto, their kind of reserve stadium, they're not allowed to host games there. It's basically not up to code. So they're moving all the way to Vasa. And I don't know if they're flipping the fixture so it's effectively becoming a home game for Vasa or not. I don't know. Inter against Asiolo is being played in Valkeakoski at Hacker Stadium. And then so is Ilves against Kups on the same day. So you've got two games in Valkeakoski, and neither of them involve FC Hacker.
There you go.
Yeah, it's crazy, really. But it's the reason for the season. Do, haven't you? Yeah, if we get them played. The alternative is play them indoors, which is fun for cup games. But it's a bit of a strange one. But it's been an interesting start to the season, hasn't it?
Yeah, sure has, mate. I mean, I don't know who would have picked out those results. I mean, you would have banked most of those, I suppose. But yeah, it's nice to see plenty of goals going in, 2 goals in most games at least. So yeah, it certainly was a great start. I mean, lovely to watch the highlights and see some of those crackers that flew into the net. And look forward to the second round. Got the EF derby as well. Helsinki EF taking on EF Mariehamn. So let's see if the Reds of Helsinki have got themselves a manager before then. But no, yeah, looking forward to it, mate. It's nice to have the Veikkausliiga back.
Yeah, and so we've got the Ukkonen coming back. I mean, it's the 18th. Is it the 18th or a little bit later? But one thing we thought we'd mention that we didn't talk about, we talked about the Stormont Cup, which is being played this weekend. The third round kicks off, and Apollo, who we mentioned in the previous episode, who are kind of like a Seinäjoki old boys club, I suppose we could put it that way. Now they're in the 6th division in the Kutinen, and they were drawn against Kokkola, who play in the Ukkonen, so effectively the 1st division. One thing we're still waiting for confirmation, but one of Apollo's players who scored in their victory in the last round, was in the first round, is the manager of the team they're playing on Saturday. We are trying desperately to find out what the score is. Well, we'll know what the score is. What's actually happening? Is the opposing manager going to be playing for the home team? Has that ever happened before, I wonder?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we get player managers, don't we?
Yeah, that's bonkers, isn't it? But mate, it's one of those only in Finland. But yes, if I don't know what to say, mate. I mean, if you feel like you still want to stretch your legs and play for what's ultimately a bit of a vets team, and but you've also got a job as a manager of another club, and then they've just come out the hat and been drawn against each other. You couldn't make it up, really. But no, watch this space. We'll keep an eye on the social media. As soon as we have any news as to what might be happening, we'll share it, I suppose.
Well, one of the things I noticed last week, I think it was still a second round fixture, was that Asiko's technical director and former player Richie Dorman is playing for Sibor EF in the Kolmonen, and they played ABC in Vasa, and it ended up being 4-3. And Richie actually scored one of the goals. So he retired from, I suppose, top level football a couple of years ago now. But yeah, it's nice to know that it's quite a common thing. I think there was an incident last year when, was it Huuhkajat's women's team manager? He was disciplined by the Paloliito because he was suspended from playing because of totting up yellow cards that he received as a player in the men's 4th or 5th division. It was, so effectively he was serving a ban for men's football, which then subsequently covered him managing a women's team in the top division. So,
oh man,
I think that loophole in the rules has been closed now. But even so, it just goes to show that there is a lot of crossover in these games, and you can't be too careful. I guess if Antonio Conte or Pep Guardiola decide to turn out for the Dog and Duck 11 and they progress in the FA Cup, we might be snooking and have a similar situation here one day.
That's it. You never know. You never know. But that's why we love Finnish football. You know what I mean? It throws up these anomalies, and yeah, we love to cover them.
Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll leave this episode here. We'll come back. Maybe we'll have a little chat after the Helmarit games next week and talk about where the land lies for the World Cup qualifying ahead there. And then hopefully the next time we're all together, we'll have a good catch up around Veikkausliiga and the transfers and Huuhkajat back, and have a real sort of throw everything at it, kitchen sink jobby. But,
no, that's it. Yeah, hopefully we can get the other two back from whatever it is they're doing. But no, it's been good to talk to you, mate. I mean, yeah, ultimately Spain was a fantastic trip. I mean, me and the boys had a good time. And yeah, it was great. It was great to see the Huuhkajat play. As I say, it was a fantastic experience. It was good to spend a little while in the old press box and see how the professionals do it. And yeah, to be honest here, but Huuhkajat didn't plan to go there to lose or draw these games, did they? Nobody plans for that. But I don't think they should be, or I don't think they were too, disappointed or downhearted. I mean, it's obviously a bit of a blow, but like everyone says, you got to shake it off and move on to the next game. And ultimately, it was a couple of friendlies. So I'm sure I'm sure the training camp as a whole did them good, even if they were on the wrong end of that 2-0 against Slovakia. But yeah, it was fun to be out there.
And you got us featuring the Huuhkajat's official highlights video as well.
Yes, that was pretty good. Yeah, it was. They put out their. Well, to be honest with you, there was only an handful of us there, so it was. It was hard not to be featured, really. But no, it was. It was nice. It was nice, and there's a bit of a. Thanks for clipping that for us, Rich, because there's a little meme going about a few WhatsApp groups now with the old thumbs up with me and Marco Sarek. So a little gif going live. But no, it was good fun, mate.
Oh, nice one. Well, welcome back, and we'll get together soon. We'll talk about whatever's current. We'll say maybe. Yeah, it's been a while since we've all been together and done one, and now things. By the time then, we'll have hopefully 2 or 3 rounds of fixtures under the belt, and we'll see where we're going. And I mean, Cups only have to win the next 26 games to regain the title. So 22 games unbeaten as we speak. So here we go. More of that. Anyway, Keke, thank you very much. Where can people find you on the old socials?
You can find me on Twitter at Kekemulleri, and you can follow the Finnish Football Show on Instagram at Finnish_football_show.
And I'm at Escape to Suomi on Twitter. And don't forget, if you're on Facebook, we have a Finnish Football Show group, a group for the fans, and also a page where we'll be sharing bits and bobs. Come along to the group. It's always good fun. Some nice people in there, isn't it? Good bands. I try to avoid that word.
Yeah, I know. No, we have a laugh. And there's a lot of people asking some semi-serious questions as well. So yeah, we try and answer those as best as we can.
Yeah, I'll say it's nice. It's kind of becoming a little bit of a meeting point for a lot of expats or on non-native Finns getting together and chatting about various say clubs and where to go and things to do when you're doing a bit of the old football tourism. So it's yeah, if you're looking at travelling over to Finland for a weekend or longer, then yeah, pop in and one of us will be able to jump in and help you out.
Just before we go, Rich, I just want to mention our friends at the Palo Pulo podcast. They've got Yoni Kalko talking to them today or tomorrow, I think it is. Yeah, they're recording with our mate Yoni Kalko. So for those of you who understand the Finnish language, give them a follow and wait for that episode, because it promises to be a good one. And for those of you who are more of the English persuasion, you can watch our interview with Yoni that we did a little while ago on our. Well, you can catch up on the podcast stream or watch it over on YouTube on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, all links will be put in the show notes. But other than that, Keke, thank you very much, and we'll get together again soon.
Kiitos. Näkemiin.
Moi moi.
You have been listening to the Finnish Football Show. You can find us online at finishfootballshow.com. Remember to subscribe to the show wherever you're listening or watching. You can follow the Finnish Football Show page and group on Facebook and on Instagram. See the links in the episode description below. You can also connect with the 4 hosts on Twitter, at Explore Finland, at FC Suomi, at Escape to Suomi, at Keke Mulen. Links to the Finnish Football Show merch stores are also in the episode description.